Possibly
Chocolate?
chocolate, yes, chocolate, soap,
Razors?
well, no, you couldn't put any.
Socks?
You know, you couldn't use anything that was sharp or something that would be detrimental, and or they could use to escape. But the Germans permitted them at Christmas time to have a package from their families or their husbands or wives. So I used to make socks because they never had. We used to make Argyle socks.
These are for the prisoners of war?
Yes, they would let. I don't know how they could. What the hell good socks were
For the American soldiers that were
in prison.
in German prison.
Yes, they were German prisoners.
So they treated, the German soldiers treated the soldiers better than they treated the Jews.
Oh yes, 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 they did.
Because they kept the Jews a secret.
Yes.
This was...
Actually, he told me after he got out, after he was, there was a word for when they after the war was over and they all got out of prison. He used to tell me about at Christmas time the guys were permitted to have a package from their families or their sweethearts, or both. So we would pack different types of things for them. And I used to do chocolate bars, Hershey bars, and socks, and mittens, you know, for your hands, cold hands, and stuff like that.
Magazines?
Well, no, not so much magazines.
Just comfort stuff.
Yes, for their own use.
Hmm.
And I can't remember now what else I would send. But it gave them a great deal of pleasure looking for that package at Christmas time.
Hmm.
And the guy I was in love with at the time was a prisoner. His name was Art Plummer, and he was from Maine. And I became engaged to him upon his release from prison. And then he had to go into rehab for X number of months. And then that was in a certain place in the United States. And then they were released on their own. And
rehab because alcohol?
Oh, no, not for alcohol, just to get accustomed to coming back into the food. I mean, they were...
Did they have post-traumatic stress?
Yes, exactly.
But they didn't call it that back then.
That term was not known at the time. And many years later, I now advance about 15 years later. I was married, and I was engaged to this guy, but
you broke a lot of hearts in your life.
I broke off my engagement.
You were engaged
to this
to what?
guy,
Like three guys?
To Art. I was engaged to still another guy. His name was Merrick, Merrick, Ed Merrick. He came from Upper New York State. Came from a lovely family. His father was a what are those Irish wagons with a horse, and there was one rider, and they would race around a racetrack.
The trotters?
They're kind of a trotter type of. His father was an expert in that, training those horses.
Then there was a guy in Atlantic City, the Jewish fellow.
No, he was not. No.
No, the one that his dad owned property in Atlantic City.
No.
On the boardwalk?
No, that was another guy I knew.
And then John found out you were getting married, and then he ran over and he begged you not to get married.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
Well, it was this guy who was the prisoner of war that I was engaged to. And John found out that I was engaged to this man, and he quickly came back north from Florida, and I dissed him. I gave this guy his ring back, and about a year or two later, John and I got married.
Do you think you'll get married again soon?
Never. Never.
So what's the moral of the story?
The moral of the story is, and the footprints on the footboard upside down, if you ever if you make my daughter Venus, if you've met my daughter Venus, you'll have pimples on your penis, and I hope she never comes around.
Okay, I'll take it.
I don't know what the hell I'm saying.